Shalom, everyone, and welcome to today's Israel update. A lot of things have been happening. I'm Joseph Good. I live in Houston, Texas, um, and I have an organization called Hatikvah Ministries. I've been for years associated with God's Learning Channel, and also along with me is Gila. Also has been very involved with God's Learning Channel, leading many being the guide for many of the tours, lives in Jerusalem, and has keen insights on what is happening in Israel. And then also we have Roy Shaposhnik, who is the chairman of the 188th Brigade Association, and he is also the deputy commander of the 188th Reserve Brigade. And so we're going to be going into the events that are unfolding even as we speak right now. And so I'd like to welcome both Gila and Roy. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
So, Roy, I can say you look like you are pretty tired. Okay. And it's not tired from a busy week. It's tired from a year and months. Intense, very intense.
And almost 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Yeah. Right. We are approaching 700 days. We are mentioning today 695 days from October 7, 2023.
Wow.
And we haven't stopped, and it's still going on. So yeah, you can say that I'm a little bit tired, but still the mission is ahead of us, and we have our goal.
Right.
And the main goal is to bring everybody home. And that's what we are doing. That's what we are focusing. So yeah.
Well, let's start with that because I believe most people are aware that the army is going back into Gaza, going into Gaza City and so forth. But there's some big news in two bodies have been retrieved. Cool. And can you tell us some about what happened there and why this is so important?
So, as you all know, one of the main goals of this Iron Sword war is to bring back all the hostages, live or dead. And the second goal is to destroy Hamas. So what we are doing right now, focusing on the main goal, and that is to bring the people, the boys back home. Actually, it's 47 boys and one girl. Is focusing on getting the right intelligence and to bring whoever we can, dead or alive, and to focus on that. The alive hostages, we know exactly where they are, and I did mention that in all of our previous conversations, that the attempt to bring them is very risky and dangerous, and therefore the army is not really allowing to get near them, even though there is a kind of a, how should I say it, a conflict or debate between the government and the army, but let's put that on the side. As for the dead bodies, we are getting plenty of signals, we are getting plenty of intelligence, and we are investing a lot of time and effort to bring those bodies back. Last week, based on a very direct intelligence, we got the information that there are two bodies in the center of Zaytun. Zaytun is one of the neighborhood on the north part of Gaza. A special unit of the army went inside and started to dig in.
Who did that? Can you say?
No, unfortunately, I can't. But yeah,
okay.
Unfortunately, I can't.
Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah.
They went inside with two heavy D9, and the minute that they started to dig in the sand, You have to understand 25, 30 soldiers are actually, searching in their bare hands to understand what's in the sand. And we were lucky to find one body of Vice, a person who got kidnapped from his house in Be'eri, in the kibbutz, and of Shtivi. Shtivi was actually a citizen who went to dance on the Nova party. And when he arrived to the Nova party, Hamas ran in and took him alive, by the way. It took us about 72 hours to identify
Mm.
the DNA of Shtivi,
The forensic unit.
correct?
Yeah, the hospital. Yeah.
And I
Right.
think that's emphasized, Joe, what you just asked, because the fact that the shape of the bodies, the condition of the bodies, they are not being stored in a good condition. It's not in a cold area. They are being digged under the ground. Some of them, we know that we are losing the capabilities even to recognize, and this is one of our biggest fears. We don't want to reach to a point that we will have miss and action people that we will never be able to bring them back home. That's one of the
Mm.
main things that the
Yes.
army is focusing. And when I'm saying it, as we speak right now, the 188 Brigade is working on a different location on the same assignment and trying to bring the people back no matter what.
Right.
So,
Mm.
yeah.
Right.
Back
And
to burial, back to burial in Israel, so that the family can have a grave and
yeah.
they can mourn properly and they
Yes,
can,
correct.
Yes.
yeah,
And
very
literally,
important.
literally that um, I don't mean to make light of this, but every time that a living hostage or a hostage that has been murdered is retrieved, it actually weakens the position of Hamas itself.
Right,
That is true. They are
right,
losing their cards in this very bizarre poker game. So every time
right.
we are trying and we are bringing back more and more. I mean, we were on 50 hostages for quite a long time. Now we went to 48. I hope
Mm.
that by the end of this week, we'll be at 43. Um, but having saying that, we still have 20 hostages that we know that they are alive, even though there are some rumors from
Barely, they're barely alive
they are barely alive. That's exactly
because they're
Gila.
starving them to death.
Yes.
And there are still a negotiation on that part. Hamas has offered Israel actually a deal which is based on the Witkoff approach. By the way, a deal that was approved by Israel about 3 months ago, but Israel has now changed their entire approach and saying we are not willing to do a deal in two different phases. We are willing to have one deal and to end the war, and Hamas is not really interested in that.
Right.
Mm. Well, I'm sorry, Roy, but I think that last time Israel was negotiating very, very sincerely. And in the last moment, Hamas decided to go on a hunger and Gaza campaign and forget the hostages for I don't know how long, for a month?
Yes, more than that.
For a
It's
month.
a little bit more than a
So
month.
basically, nobody believes them. Nobody
Yes.
believes them. Nor do I think that their intention is to actually return the 10 hostages.
So
So
I
it's like,
think, but I think, Gila, two important things have happened in the last couple of days.
mm,
First of all, let's focus on the main thing. Israel has instructed the army to enter to Gaza City.
right.
The army has moved forward some of his tanks and troops, but
Troops.
did allowed the Palestinian citizen to
Mm,
move by their own free will out of Gaza and to move into a shelters on the south part of Gaza Strip. The reason I'm
Right.
saying it's important, mainly the people in Gaza started to realize that they have another option beside of Hamas. And that
Right.
is important because that weaks Hamas tremendously. The second thing happened yesterday at night.
Mm.
Yesterday, Israel, in a very important Air Force attack, managed to take out the
Targeted attacks.
targeted the
Yeah.
Hamas spokesman,
Mm.
which
Yeah.
was one of the most 3 to 4 important positions inside of
Right.
Hamas. Now, this guy from October 7, he was like wanted by us. We tried to eliminate him a couple of times and we failed. And I can tell you that officially he's out of the game. And the reason I'm saying it's important because Hamas hasn't had the chance to replace Muhammad Def, Sinwar, and then Sinwar the brother. And that spokesman was actually becoming like their face and the ears of Hamas.
Yeah.
And
Can I add something? I
of
mean,
course,
from the get-go, the whole plan of Hamas, knowing full well that they're not strong to defeat Israel's military. Whatever they do, they can do an successful operation, but they don't really have the military ability to defeat the Israeli army. They were working on the terror and military side and on the propaganda side. And
Right.
the
he decided,
propaganda
he,
worked.
yeah, and
The
the
propaganda
propaganda,
worked.
the propaganda worked very well on the strong liberal wokist movements
Yeah,
around Europe and around the United States and anti-Semitism. It
correct.
completely went right into the vein of hatred of Israel, and his propaganda was extremely successful. You know it, you see it on your street.
Right.
Yeah,
Everywhere you go, you see the propaganda. And then there was this big wave of Gaza's hungry. I mean, so much so that even President Trump said that Gaza's hungry. And it is not true. It is not true. The enormous quantities of food that were brought into Gaza are like beyond imagination.
it's not only that it's not true. I can tell you that right next to our base, which is about 1 kilometer from the border between Gaza and Israel, there are sitting right now 180 trucks from Jordan that cannot get into Gaza, not because of Israel, because there is no one to take the food over there. Do you understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
insane. There is no buying for the products that they are bringing in. Now,
right.
one of the main things that you can see is that if in the past, for a bag of sugar or a flour, you
Well,
could get it for $100, right now it's less than $1. So the propaganda worked, but the reality is different. That's
Yes.
all.
I want to make a point of clarification. Then I have a question.
mhm.
You, when you were speaking before, you mentioned that uh, the civilian population, we're not talking about Hamas, but the civilian population, that they are free to evacuate Gaza. You didn't mean the Gaza Strip. You meant Gaza
No,
City, and that
city,
they
right.
True.
right. Now, I understand that there's been what 700 days or so, that this time going in, the strategy is different than it was in the previous times. Okay, can you give us some elaboration on that? How is it different?
So first of all, I think the main element is right now the fact that the people, the citizen of Gaza, are all of a sudden realize that they cannot stand as Hamas shield anymore. And the level of information that we are getting from them is by far much higher and much accurate than what we had before. Now,
The
guys,
hold,
before,
the
That's
hold of
big.
Hamas, the
yeah,
hold of Hamas
correct,
is getting less and less tight and strong.
So
correct.
Yeah,
that's very big.
That's very
yeah.
big. Now,
Yes.
add to that also a very important element, and we see that, by the way, we are getting the intel. We understand what they are going through. Hamas has lied to his people by saying that if you will stay in Gaza City and the Muasi area, you will be protected. And all of a sudden, we
Uh,
see the elements correspond on the social media or the WhatsApp group and Telegram group of Hamas. People are realizing that Hamas has been lying to them all along
The whole time.
because we are
Yeah.
there. I can tell you that one of the Telegram groups of Hamas, of the Palestinian, were shouted, the tanks are in Gaza. So all of a sudden they realize that Hamas is not controlling anymore. And that is actually a very big change of what Hamas is
Mm.
trying to do. Hamas always said, if you guys will stick together, the Israelis will never get in. And now we are in. We are there.
yes. Now, I understand that one of the things that is occurring is that as the tanks and the soldiers approach a neighborhood, they are basically destroying the buildings in that neighborhood systematically, and
True.
people see that and they go, why are they doing that? But there's a reason why they have to do that. What is that reason?
First of all, I have to tell to all the audience that is seeing us right now, I have been in Gaza many times. I haven't saw one building, one house, one room without propaganda against Israel, without ammunition, without a kind of a lead to an underground tunnel. So I'm saying
Mm.
it to you very loud and clear. All the places that we are taking out, all the buildings that we are demolishing, are buildings that are a part of a terror activity against Israel. Now,
Mm.
some of the buildings that we are taking out is only after we identify that there is no underground tunnel. And if there is an underground tunnel, we are sealing it in a way that we will be able to blow it afterwards.
Mm.
Gaza is paradise for terrorists. Please do not be mistaken. Simply paradise for terrorists. And that is the reason why we are doing it. The second thing, we are pushing them away from the border. There are certain areas over there that we have demolished completely. Why? Not allowing them the possibility to place a sniper next to an Israeli field that a farmer is going over there to work on the field.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Mm. Mm.
I understand that a new book has
Amazing.
come out
Amazing.
in Israel in Hebrew that deals with the 188th Brigade specifically. Can you show us the book and tell us a little bit about it?
So first of all, this is the book. Thank you very much, Joe. The book called The Tanks Are Here. And this is a book that is actually talking about the first 72 hours of the 188th Brigade on October 7. If you all remember, the brigade was the first and only armored brigade that actually moved their tanks from one of the military bases called Zelim and drove on the road. That's 9 tanks,
Under
three
chains. Under
on their
chains.
chains. Correct, correct. Thank you, Gila. And they drove on their chains on the road. 3 tanks went to the south part of Gaza Strip. By doing that, we have saved many people's life, and more than that, we have managed to block the terrorists to enter villages such as Kibbutz Sufa, Kisufim, and so on and so on. If we haven't been there, I presume that the casualties on that day would be by far higher, and we had been double or tripled the amount of hostages. The rest of the tanks went up to Be'eri, to Kfar Aza and Nachal Oz,
Northern part
the
of the
north
Gaza
part.
Strip, right?
And I know, and I'm getting a lot of comments. We should have been there earlier, that's for sure. And if there is one thing that I know, that we are always checking with ourselves, how could we do it faster? But I have to tell you, whoever understands military, whoever understands armory, knows that what we have done was in a super time.
Amazing,
It was
amazing,
an amazing
amazing.
thing.
To get it, because the crews were not there. You had to
Yeah.
get crews together.
Yeah,
In order to move a tank, you have to have a full crew.
correct.
And it takes time to gather the crew.
Right.
So
We
the
had the
book,
same problem on the Yom Kippur War.
absolutely.
There were tanks and the crews were not there. And you just had to gather the crews. And even if it's not an organic crew, they got together, everybody knew their job, and they went rolling. It
Now,
was amazing. It was really amazing.
I understand that the lead tank on the cover of the book is the tank of the brigade commander.
Not the brigade, the battalion, the 53rd
battalion.
battalion.
But he took
53rd.
initiative and he started the movement before he got orders from above.
Absolutely.
Right.
And when he entered Be'eri, one of the first things that he has done was actually to create noise. And then he said afterwards that, and I have it in video, I will share it with you. And he said, the tanks are here. The tanks are here to help you. Now you need to understand, we are talking about one of the most bravest people I ever met, Salman
What time of day was it? Do you know?
4:58
In the afternoon.
in the afternoon. That was the first minute that the first tanks entered Be'eri. Now, please remember, before that, there were already infantry soldiers
Right.
in Be'eri, but
Special
there is
forces and
special
yeah,
forces. But guys, let's all remember, there is a huge difference
not the same
between
thing. Not
a
the same
soldier
thing.
with
Right.
AK-47 or with M16 than to have a tank that is firing a bullet, and all of a sudden everything is like shaking, and
Yeah.
people understand that we are
Yeah.
here.
Now,
Yes.
I understand this will be available in the next few months in English.
Correct.
So
Correct.
people, you know, this might be something that you would really understand better what occurred and what is happening today.
We are translating it now into English. I think it will take us about 2 months, and I promise all of you, the minute that it will be available, I will let you know immediately.
All right, that sounds great. Now, something big happened with the Israeli Air Force in Yemen. So, give us the details here.
So I think, look, if there is one thing that that we need to be proud as Israelis, is that we have time and patience. Even though it doesn't seem like that when you normally visit in Israel, and with the way that they are driving in the road and the chutzpah, but time and patience, and our intelligence, mainly the Mossad, did an amazing job and managed to gather a lot of information about
It's
the
really
leaders.
amazing how they got all this information about Yemen,
And not only that, Gila, remember something
which is
important.
like more than 1,500 miles away.
Right.
Exactly. And remember that it's not in Gaza that you know that there is a kind of a meeting, and then you set an airplane, which is about 3 minutes. It takes
Right.
about 4 hours to fly over.
And they had to refuel on the way.
Oh, absolutely. So what happened is Israel got a very important intel that the leadership of the Houthis is getting together in Tzana. By getting this information, the military immediately launched an airplanes, about 10 airplanes that fired towards that meeting. And what we have over there is right now the fact that the Prime Minister, Minister of Defense, and a bunch of other ministers of the Houthis got killed. The head of the staff of the Houthis is heavily injured. We don't know exactly what his condition, but the important thing is that it is a very important message, not only to the Houthis, and that's the important news. The message is mainly to the Yemen people over there, because for them, it's like getting their life back, because they couldn't resist the Houthis, and all of a sudden, they can find themselves in a brand new leadership that may help them move forward. Having saying all of that, in the last 24 hours, the Houthis tried to fire 2 missiles at us. The first one landed in Saudi Arabia. The second one crashed in the air about 25 minutes ago. So we didn't have an alarm.
We
Gila,
didn't even have sirens or anything here. Yeah.
I don't think
And
that
the Saudis have Iron Dome, right?
Yes, correct. They don't have an Iron Dome. They have a Patriot system, but yes. True.
Oh, okay. Well, they have
Something
defenses.
similar.
Yeah.
Let's all remember something important. It doesn't mean that our fight with the Houthis is over.
Right.
No.
It's still there. It's definitely weakened them completely. And I think it's another message for the Iranian, because at the end of the day, the Houthis are a proxy of the Iranian. And it's another message. Look, we know also where they are, so pay attention. We know where you are.
But it's a message to the entire Middle East. You can't get away from us.
Right.
And I think, Gila, it's actually a very important to say the Middle East is redesigned, reshape itself from an end to end.
All right.
Yeah.
We basically run out of time, but I do want to encourage people before we leave this program to support. We need to support Israel. We need to support the soldiers in the field. You can make a donation to the JerusalemTempleStudy.com/David Fund, or you can do the little icon in the corner.
And the corner,
please help, and also be a word of encouragement for Israel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.